Hello, Tomodachis. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Kagiso Lohori. I am South African, but I currently live abroad in Japan. If you're a new subscriber, kindly like, comment, and become a part of the family. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you for always coming back to watch my videos. I truly appreciate it. By the title of this video, you can already tell what we'll be talking about today. Today, we'll be talking all things finances. How much did I pay, or how much did it cost me to move from South Africa to Japan? Just a disclaimer, please remember that every situation is different. Just because I had to pay 20,000 in order to move to Japan, it doesn't mean that you will pay 20,000. I came here 2 years ago, so things have changed. The cost of living is getting higher and higher, and our spending habits as well, they are different. The currency that I'll be using will be in South African rands. So if you want to convert, please feel free to convert to the currency that you understand. Without wasting any more time, let's get straight into it. When I applied for the JET program, I was still a student. You know, when you're still a student, you're getting allowance from home and you just have to make ends meet. I'm gonna tell you everything that I had to spend on. And for some people, it might not be a lot, or people might think, oh, why do you have to include printing documents? But for me, I feel like it's important. Every little money that you spend, it's important and it needs to be mentioned. Unless if maybe you have like your dad who's working for a certain company, or your mother or someone in your family who can just print documents for you. But for me, unfortunately, I was in Joburg and my home is in Polokwane. I didn't have anyone to print out the documents for me, so I had to pay. The first thing that I spend on has to be the printing of documents. And for those that had already applied for the JET program, or for those that are part of the JET program, they know why I am mentioning this, because there's just a lot of documents that need to be printed, a whole lot. For the printing, I spent 300 rands. And since I was staying in Joburg and the embassy of Japan is in Pretoria, I had to commute from Johannesburg to Pretoria in order to deliver my documents. For some reason, I felt like I'm already close to Pretoria. I don't want to go through the courier company because I didn't trust that they will get the documents on time. I just wanted to go and give the documents by myself because I'm such an overthinker. Like, I didn't want anything going wrong because I was thinking, what if they lose my documents? Or what if my documents arrive late? But it's very rare that it happens. It was just me, like, just overthinking, like I always do. Traveling from Johannesburg to Pretoria, I think it cost around 200 rands. And another thing that I had to spend on was the criminal record check. I had to go to Pretoria again. So transport, 200 yet again. And applying for a police clearance in 2022 was 150. I don't know if it is still the same or things have changed, but as far as I know, it's 150. And another expensive thing that I had to spend on was doing my medical check. Oh my word. Unfortunately, you have to go to a general practitioner first, because we know that most hospitals, they don't allow walk-ins. In fact, I think maybe things might have changed now, because I applied for the JET program during the times of COVID. It was really strict. We were not allowed to go to the hospital to walk in. I needed to go to a general practitioner and get a referral letter so that I can go to the hospital. And mind you, if I go to a general practitioner, I had to pay some cash. I had to pay 500 Rand for consultation. And they had to do a few tests as well. They checked my eyesight, urinalysis, and oh my word, it has been so long. I don't remember what else they checked. And they gave me a referral letter. I had to go to the hospital, and having an x-ray done is around 700 rands. I've heard that there are some hospitals that can get that done for free, but I just didn't want to put myself through that. But if you know any hospital that can do that for free, you're welcome to do that and save some cash. And another important thing that I had to pay was COVID tests. COVID test was 850 when I applied. And because of COVID, my departure was postponed. So I had to do 2 COVID tests. 850, and that is roughly 1,700. Well, I hope my math is mathing. I don't want my math to embarrass me. Phambi kwabantu sana. You know it. And another thing that I had to spend on was pictures. I had to get my pictures for both my visa and one of the documents that they required at the embassy. And that cost me 40 rands. Fortunately, with the JET program, you don't have to worry about your visa. The embassy has it covered. So they pay the visa, and then you just go to the embassy and you take pictures, you fill the documents in, and voila, you get your visa back. Another thing that I love about the JET program is that you don't have to worry about a plane ticket either because they got it covered. My flight from South Africa to Japan was paid by the JET program. And since I came during the times of COVID, they also covered for meals and quarantine for 4 days. They also covered my trip from Tokyo to my small town. That's a bonus. I don't know if this also applies to the Japanese residents or not, but in Japan, when you first move in, you have to pay a deposit. And I'm not talking about small money, I'm talking big money. I'm talking big money. I had to pay 20,000 Rand in order to move into my small studio apartment. Apparently, there's a key fee there, a key charge, guest charge, and thank you money. I'm basically thanking my landlord for accommodating me. Yes, you had that right. 20,000 freaking rand. Child, I am still not over this up to this day. But it's worth it. It was totally, totally worth it. Just because I paid 20,000 Rand to move into my apartment, it doesn't mean that everyone else did it. For some people, they were lucky and they didn't even pay a cent. And for people who are even in bigger cities, people who are in Tokyo, they had to pay something like 30,000, 40,000 just to move into their apartments. I repeat, every situation is different. And coming to Japan, like money for the month, I had 10,000 South African rands. Was it enough? Well, kinda. I am very frugal with my money, so it was enough. And fortunately, I got paid 2 weeks after landing in Japan. Remember, when you first move into a new apartment, there are things that you need to get. You need to start from scratch. You don't have a bed, you don't have a chair, you don't have plates, you literally have nothing. That 10,000 went towards plates, appliances, because I'm such a tea lover. I cannot do without tea. I needed a kettle, I needed an iron, um, plates, pots. Fortunately, at my school, they gave me a fridge, a washing machine, a vacuum cleaner, and what else did they give me? I feel like, as far as I remember, they gave me four things. I don't remember what else. And I had to buy a microwave. And when I left South Africa, I was doing an internship. I also got some money from my internship. Since I didn't work for the whole month and it's an internship, I didn't really get a lot. I think I got something like 3,000 rands. And believe me, it went a long, long way. And for groceries, I spent something like 5,000 rand. The reason why I spent 5,000 rand is because I had nothing. I was starting from scratch. I didn't have sugar, salt, like those basic things. I was moving into a new place. I needed to get those things. For some people, they opt for noodles and bread during their first month. But, child, I love my meat. I love my meat. So I made sure that I have meat. But yeah, I was very frugal on my first month. Hence, I spent the amount of money that I spend. And another important thing that I might forget to mention is that when you first move, um, other assistant language teachers get a notification that there's a new ALT in town, make them comfortable. So they will reach out saying, hello, when are you free? Can we please go out for dinner? And obviously, you don't know anyone here. You also want to make friends and have a community. You go out. So you might eat out during your first month. And Japanese food is very cheap in Japan. But if you don't have money, you don't have money. If you don't have money, everything is suddenly so expensive. I remember when they invited me, we had to go to a Korean restaurant. Did I not pay 500 rand? So we bought a shared meal. And then people were just ordering whatever. And then at the end of the day, we had to split it. And it came up to 500 rands. Since COVID days are now behind us, I would advise that you have a budget of 35,000 to 40,000 in order to live in Japan. But also, that will be dependent on how much you need to pay for your deposit. A month before you come to Japan, your Board of Education will make contact with you, and your school will do the same. They will find an apartment for you, and they will let you know how much you need for your housing. And that will play a huge role in how much you need to have before you come to Japan. Prepare yourself when you come to Japan because you're coming into a new country. You don't want to be stressing about adjusting and also stressing about finances. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope that it was informative. I hope to see you on the next one. Arigatou gozaimasu.